think if I dated anybody like that. I'm sure I did.
I feel like we all at least know somebody like that.
Yeah.
Or we're passive aggressive ourselves.
Oh yeah.
When I was like looking at this, I was like, shit.
This is news to you? They're hella passive aggressive. Whatever.
But isn't that demon talk me saying what I need to say?
Bed. Love.
Bed. Love.
Beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you, who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
Okay. Lost my script. I'm Martini.
I'm still Jen, I think. I don't know.
And today's episode is episode 110. I'm not mad. Whatever.
Oh, that was my
Fine.
AOL name. Sorry.
Whoa.
Jennifer 110. Sorry. I had a flashback in the middle of your speech. We are all over our plate, all over the place today.
Yeah. I'm not mad. Whatever. Fine. Ugh. Passive aggressiveness and dating. So if you have a topic you want us to explore or have any questions you want to ask, you can write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233.
You should call us and leave a voicemail. We'll play it on air.
Yeah.
Even if you like the podcast, don't like the podcast. Like, if you think we suck, I'll play it. I don't care. Anything at this point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we want to get your feedback. I mean, we do get feedback, but yeah, definitely hit us up. And we have a special guest. She was like so amped up to come back. She was like, "F this, I'm coming back." She's like, "F y'all." So back again, Brigid.
Oh, I'm so glad Brigid's here. Because I feel like Martini confessed something to me last week or 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Well, Brigid said not to tell you."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Well, Brigid was right."
Wait.
Right? Yeah.
Hold on. Wait,
so apparently, if Bridges is right, who gives a fuck about Maya?
What happened?
Martini gave me a speech about how he likes my boyfriend. And he thought he should tell me.
I never said you shouldn't tell her that.
No, you said that he shouldn't tell her that he likes him because he sees himself in him.
I just said to make sure you phrased it appropriately.
And I believe I did.
Okay.
Did you though?
Fine, I guess I didn't. But
you said this on the podcast?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think
we don't have secrets here, Brigid.
I don't believe I need to, curb that.
I know, it's cool.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember what my advice was.
No, I mean, I just wanted to let her know.
Noted.
So I hope she heeds that advice, but apparently it's not good enough
unless
Brigid says.
No.
The point wasn't. That wasn't the point.
I don't know that you had to make the comparison out loud.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the comparison is less necessary than
your
concerns in general. That was.
Why would I fuck it up anyway?
Huh?
Why would I fuck up my relationship?
Because it's possible. That's why.
I am dangerous when left to my own devices.
Yeah, you are.
I think he was just saying this one's good. Make sure you.
I know. I like him. I'm gonna keep him. Better step up his game though.
Yeah, and on the see what I'm talking about, and
I'm staying out of this.
And you at the beginning of the relationship, and this was said on the podcast that you would have arguments because you would still be speaking to people that you weren't supposed to be speaking to.
I'm not doing that anymore.
I'm not saying that you did. I'm not saying that you are. But
I don't even remember his name, to be honest with you.
But that's what I'm saying. Because you're like, I don't see how this is wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I was like, everyone was like, it's wrong. You're not supposed to be speaking to this guy while you're with your man.
Was it the married guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't really have a full commitment at that point. I didn't know what he wanted. And now I know that I knew, and I was like, oh, he really likes me. I was like, bye. And I wasn't talking to the married guy like on some like, hey, maybe we can get together. Because after I found out he was married, I was like, I was really talking to him because he was gonna make a fucking icon for our podcast. Like, get in where you fit in.
Ironic.
He was like, oh, I can help you with your podcast, and I was like, maybe, because he did have like ties into shit. But yeah, I know he was trying to smash. That wasn't gonna happen though. I could not remember his name the other day.
Okay.
Because I freaked out. I think I told you guys this a couple weeks ago. I went to my godson's like play at his school, and it's most likely the same school that his kid would have gone to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh god, if I ran into him here, that'd be fucking awkward. Him and his wife.
I don't think he would say anything though.
I would. Hashtag petty. No, I would just be like, haha, hey.
But you didn't see
No,
him.
I didn't see him.
Okay.
But then I was like, oh, I don't even remember his name.
That's a good sign.
I don't remember his name.
That's a good
I know
sign.
he had a weird name. But anyhow, that's irrelevant. Any daily dish?
No.
Oh. Well, I feel like I should update you.
Okay.
I went to the fertility clinic.
Okay.
I have midget ovaries.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means really yet.
Wait, is that what they said?
And then they didn't say you have midget people ovaries. They said
Little people. Let's not offend our.
little people listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little person, not a real little person. I'm just short. 4'11". They just said my ovaries are small.
Okay.
And that they could had a hard time finding them. And I took the blood test to find out like if I had eggs or not. And for whatever reason, like everything else came back. I was like, oh my god, do I have HIV? Like I was kind of like, I don't know why I thought that, because I get my blood work done all the time for my heart condition. Like, and obviously if there's something wrong with my blood work, they would have like tagged it.
Right.
I don't have HIV.
Oh, okay, good.
For those who do, that's medicine. Modern medicine is amazing
You
now.
can totally live with it now.
Yeah, I was just kind of like freaking out because I was like, oh my god, it would just be my luck. And so they haven't been able to tell me yet whether or not I have like a surplus of eggs, but they're thinking that I don't. And I found out that I possibly have a problem with my thyroid. Apparently my thyroid's like too high for what they want it to be. Like, I guess like your thyroid can be like at different levels for different things. Like my cardiologist says my thyroid's okay, but I have to go for more blood work tomorrow. But then like they were like, oh, you need to see an endocrinologist now. And I'm like, we don't even know what we're doing here yet.
Yeah.
We don't know what the deal is. So the boyfriend has to go for like a sperm analysis this week, and hopefully they'll get the blood work back to find out like exactly what my numbers are. Like the nurse was kind of dumb. I don't like when nurses speak to you like you know what they're talking about.
Okay.
You're like, oh, this TS something number was. Oh, I don't know what that is, bitch. Like, yes or no. Like, just tell me what it is.
Yeah.
But the day that we walked out of the office, like, she basically told me that, like, the numbers that I gave her from last year didn't look good. And all these things, like, I was on the surface, like, very okay with. They didn't look good. And also, like, the procedure to, like, get eggs out was, like, very invasive.
Right.
And because I take blood thinners, y'all just know my whole medical history now. But someone may relate, so. Because I take blood thinners, like, I'd have to, like, get, like, a special clearance from my doctor, and I might have to have it done, like, in a hospital. Because she said that, like, if there's an emergency when they do it in the office, they just call 911. Like, there is no...
Right. No,
there's no backup.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she said with all these factors against me, like, it doesn't... She didn't say, like, it doesn't look good. Like, she's still kind of like, let's see what it is. But she's like, we don't want to put you through all that. Like, if like, let's say my numbers come back and they're really low and it's not a high possibility that I make a lot of eggs, like, they're not going to want to put me through all that to just get eggs.
Yeah.
So she was like, you can use an egg donor. And while we were waiting, like, in the other room to, like, meet with another nurse, I asked my boyfriend, I was like, would you want to do that? And he was like, no. And I was like, thank God he said that, because... Like, even though he's, like, he has a feeling, like, he doesn't like the idea of adoption, I totally don't want
somebody else's
egg.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'd rather the kid just, like, not be either of ours.
Right.
Than just his and not mine.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can find someone, like, little like you, like, Italian, and that looks like you. I'm like, no.
No, because you'll know.
It's, like, both or neither. I get that.
Right. So, I was just like, I know people who've done it, and that's great. you know, I said jokingly to her, like, oh, I'm too bad I don't have a sister. And she's like, we don't recommend that. And
That can be complicated, I guess.
yeah. But then I was like telling my boyfriend that, like, I was like, oh, maybe like we'll get my brother's sperm and your sister's egg. That's still creepy.
That's still creepy.
Yeah.
But like that was just like a random thought. So I don't know really what's gonna happen. He's still like very optimistic. We don't have like a definitive answer. Like I thought I'd hope by now. I feel like they're just doing everything to like rape our insurance.
So you need to have a surplus and not like a moderate amount. Like you need because
like they want to get as many as they can for the procedure.
Right.
So I'd have to take like shots and hormones to make more.
Yeah, and that stuff really messes with you too.
Right. So I had to see first we had to check like what his swimmers are doing, and like if everything's good on his end and everything's like mediocre on my end, they could essentially give me hormones if my cardiologist allows it to make more eggs, and if my cardiologist allows it to get the egg extraction done, or if I get it done in a hospital, then it's just a whole lot of ifs. And like even though I wanted a definitive answer, I just feel like it's not as easy as I could. But the first couple of days I did like really struggle, because even though I've told myself my whole life I can't have kids, and like I don't want to get upset. Ugh, I've been emotional all week. Where's Kanye when you need him? Don't shake your head. I didn't mean for like fucking support. I meant for like a distraction. Every time, like, even though I've told myself that my whole life, like, I, like, hearing a doctor kind of, like, finalize it or, like, verify what I was saying was like, oh, fuck. And even that's what I wanted. So, like, you know, but it was just, like, a lot to swallow. So, like, ever since the appointment, even though then, like, I had my period, like, the couple days after. So, I've just been, like, this, like, emotional mess. My mom's like, let's watch Kodachrome. I'm crying. I'm like, oh, God. My mom's like, are you crying? I was like, no, I just have snot. She's just like very ladylike, Jennifer. I'm like, whatever. I was like, you have to blow my nose. I was crying. It was terrible. It was such a sad movie. But yeah, so that's where we are.
But it's still not definitive, though.
It's still not definitive, but it's just like a lot. It's just like a lot, and like he agreed, like he wouldn't want to put me through all that. But like, I don't know. I also showed him this video yesterday. I was like, don't get mad. I posted it on our Bed Love Beyond page on Facebook. It was a video about a guy who like had been with his girlfriend forever, and like he said that, like, as much as he loved her and he wanted to be with her, like, the thought of marriage made him really nervous. So he went and he spoke to his dad, and his dad basically told him, like, marriage is not for you. Like, not saying marriage is not for you, like, you're not the person who should be married, but, like, you don't marry like, and I kind of agree and disagree, but he was saying to him, like, the marriage part is not for a man. Like, it's for a woman. It's something that most women want, and you do it because you want to make her happy. And I know that Martine's like making this face. The video probably explains it better.
I see what.
But that was kind of like the message. Like it's not, you're not doing this grand gesture for you. You're doing it for her and for your relationship. Yeah. So it was kind of like that. I showed him that, and he was like, that's a different perspective, and that's where that conversation ended.
Gotta go.
I was like, okay.
I see what that is saying. I can see that perspective.
Right. Like, it's not something for you to be scared about. Like, if you are okay with being with her and, like, only wanting to be with her, the whole marriage part of this part of the relationship is really just for her.
I disagree, but
well, I think that's why it's because a lot of people say it's her day. They forget the guy, even though she's marrying the guy who proposed to her. It's her day. It's her day. You know, she's the one walking down the aisle. You know, everything. The focus is on her. Like, who cares about the groom?
I would care if he's there or not.
Yeah, so I would I'd want my wedding to be about both of us.
Yeah,
absolutely. but stereotypically, it's about the chick. You know, like once the guy proposes or whatever, and he's like, hey guys, I got married, and they're like, hey, cool. But like, what does the
video was actually very touching. You should watch it. We'll watch it after.
Yeah, okay. And what does the woman do? You know, like
I see both sides of it. Like, I don't think it should. I wouldn't want anyone to do something just necessarily to make me happy, but I do slightly agree with the idea of that. like, not that you should do, that sounds contradictory, but like, not that you should do it to make her happy, but that like, if you're already so committed into this relationship, like, it's just legalizing it.
I have a good friend who has said, like, for his whole life that he never wanted to get married, mostly because his parents are divorced, and he just didn't see the point. And he's been with his girlfriend for a really, really, really long time. And he loves her, and he knows he's going to have kids with her and spend his life with her and all of that. He just didn't want to have to sign a contract to say that. He was, like, you know, worried that once he did that, that would be what broke them up, that kind of thing. And then he found out, like, he thought she felt the same way, and then found out that she didn't feel the same way, and that she did want to have a wedding and did want to get married, even though her parents are also divorced. So, yeah, he thought they were on the same page, and it turns out they weren't, and now they're engaged. So it's, you know, it is literally the same thing, that he's doing it because he knows she wants it, and he doesn't care either way, basically.
I think that's what my ex-boyfriend kind of used to say, but then again, if I re-asked him, I'll change the story every time, so forget it. Because when I first met him, I'm like, do you even want to get married? He's like, if I'm with somebody and she wants to get married, I'll get married. I'm like, I don't like that answer. I don't know why I agreed to go out with him after that.
I think everybody has different priorities, so it just, you know, depends on where you are in life and who you are, I guess.
So, yeah, Baby Factory might be shut down. And then I watched this video about this little girl who was adopted, who was like a demon child and tried to kill her adoptive parents.
Don't watch videos like that.
She grew up to be a nurse, but
well, I'm very much pro-adoption. That's probably what I will be doing in the
that's
future.
what I want to do. I just don't know if I want to do it like through the Division of Family Services or like through an agency.
Well, one is a lot more expensive than the other.
Yeah, Division of Family Services is like virtually free. But I think you have like, I'd like to actually maybe have somebody on about adoption.
That's awesome.
That'd be really cool.
I'm like very interested in that.
She's like, I'd like to just sit in on this one.
Yeah, I won't even speak or have a microphone. I'll just sit in the corner and be like,
You like take notes. Because like I've gone to a seminar about like adoption through the division, and they actually help you out a whole lot. It's just like you never know. You never know either way what kind of kid you're gonna get. Like I've worked with a family who had 2 kids that she adopted, 2 boys from Russia. First of all, when she had to go to Russia to get them, spend like a month there. And when she was taking him home, they were like, "Do you want us to change his birth date on the certificate?" Because I guess like if you make him older or younger, like I don't know if it varies. Something about with the age, but those kids are not okay because they were like in an orphanage and they were mistreated and they have a lot of issues. And she ended up having to put one of them in like a residential facility.
But at least they had her, though. You know, it would have been worse if someone hadn't taken them in.
Right.
They're better off if someone takes them in.
The one's a little, like, sociopath, though. So, he's in a residential facility. The other one, I think, is doing well. And hopefully with enough therapy, you know, they'll become productive citizens. But, you know, but it could be the same thing. Like, you can get a baby from the Division of Family Services, and Child Protective Services, whatever you guys call it in your neighborhood. And, like, it could be, you know, a crack baby or, you know, it's just a dice roll. But I still think you're doing, like, a really amazing thing.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like it's better than the child's alternative, at least.
Right.
So, maybe not.
Every time I see, like, one of those stories, like, on Facebook about, like, mom stuffed baby in a garbage bag, I'm like, please just drop your fucking kid off at my house.
Right.
Please.
I get it.
Please just stop. I'll give you, I'm going to, like, publicly post my address on Facebook and be like, if you think you're going to do something demonic to your child, please leave them at my doorstep, bring the doorbell, and leave. I will not ask any questions. Sign over your fucking parental rights and fucking disappear.
Seems legit.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a social worker, but seems like it would work to me.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. What could go wrong? But yeah, that's where we're at in life. I don't think anything exciting happened besides Kanye. I'm really excited about this Kanye story. Sorry.
Oh my god, I'm in pain about this Kanye story.
He's decompensating, and we all get to watch it. And I put up on Facebook. I think Noble made some stupid comment. Put up on Facebook something about like Kim Kardashian's really just doing what any woman who loves her man will do and defends him instead of helping him. Like 9 times out of 10, unless you know what's going on or want to admit what's going on, you just kind of make excuses for your boyfriend. Oh, he used to have problems with drugs, but he's doing better now. He's doing really good. He's not supposed to do drugs, but I let him smoke weed sometimes because it calms him down. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah. Although I get that she should be doing more and encouraging him to get help and, instead of defending him, but it's also not her fault that this is happening.
No, it's absolutely not her fault. And I think it's very hard because they're both in the public eye and you can't privately... Who knows what she's doing in the privacy of her own home? I'm sure it's very hard to admit that, like, your husband is going off the deep end.
Yeah.
So, but that's not what we're here to talk about today, is it? Even though I can go on for a good hour.
I was like, today's topic is adoption.
Yeah, where are my notes? No, but definitely let me know what is going on so we can either stop the show or I can just do it on my own for as long as you need it.
Well, I'm not having a baby.
But I'm saying, how about if you...
I can't carry anyway. Oh, I definitely am not carrying. I'm Kim Kardashian, this bitch.
I got you. I got your back.
Really? I got 10,
maybe.
I got 10 G's.
I could use 10 G's. I'm just kidding. We'll take this off the air.
No, but
anyone's got a uterus.
No, but whatever, like the hormones and stuff. Like if it's like messing with you, you don't need to worry about this little thing. You need to worry about creating life.
That or we'll live stream it.
Oh God!
This is Jen getting her injection.
This is Jen crying over a tub of popcorn.
No, but I'm serious. Like
listen, I don't think it's gonna go that route. But thank you. And not that I'm not being pessimistic, but I used to be like April used to make fun of me all the time. Not like make fun of me, but like she used to be like, yo, you find a fucking silver lining in everything. I just can't do it anymore. I just don't have it in me. Life kicked me down like a couple streets, and I was like, all right, realism it is.
That is the saddest thing I have ever heard.
For the one time that you should.
Yeah, come on.
Take one for the team.
For the one time you should, I think you should bring the old Jen back for that for this one time.
I don't know where she is. Old Jen says dumb shit. We were driving through Brooklyn.
Ooh, are we gonna meet old Jen? I'm so excited.
We were driving through Brooklyn the other day, and I just say the most assholey shit sometimes. We're driving down Atlantic Ave in Brooklyn to go to our annual date at the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens, like we've done now 3 years in a row, me and my boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, like the bus stop where I used to pick up my boyfriends. He was like, don't talk to me. He wasn't like serious, but like I started laughing. He's like, yo, sometimes you say the most savage shit. And I was like, I have diarrhea in the mouth. I don't even know why that came out. Like, I'm so comfortable with him. I'm like, I thought you were one of my friends. Like, I wasn't lying, but like it was information he needed to know.
Right. Oh boy.
Like, that's where I slept in the car with Brooklyn.
Well, let's hope he forgets that for next year.
I think he will. He brought it up like 6 times. And I just kept laughing. I was like, oh, you fucked up, Jen. You're so evil.
Hey, at least you guys can laugh about it.
Yeah.
At least I can laugh about it. I got something out of it.
But that's not why we're here. Either.
I love your attempted segues. That's not why we're here.
Oh God! I was listening to the Bunny Ears podcast again today. They have no segues, and they like put commercials like right in the middle of a sentence. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, hey Mac, have you had that Hello Fresh? I'm like, what the fuck? They're great though.
I actually did listen to the
one I sent you?
the episode that you suggested to me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was fun. It was pretty cool.
There's like no rhyme or reason to their podcast, but it's great. I still want to get them on ours.
Got to keep branding them, I guess.
But like, so Macaulay Culkin, How was that smack?
Whoa.
I want to ask the hard-hitting questions.
Jeez.
So why did Brigid want to come back here besides the fact that we're fucking awesome?
Well,
it's primarily that.
First, we need to do a little housekeeping.
Oh.
So I put up a Twitter poll 2 weeks ago about would you attend the meet and greet in New Jersey? Mm-hmm. And we had 5 votes.
Thanks, guys.
One of them was me.
Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure.
And I was like, would you attend a meet and greet in New Jersey? So 60% said yes. 20% said no, that's weird. And the other 20 was depends if we change the location.
To what?
I don't know.
The
UK. Probably. That's probably what it was.
And
shout out to Sam.
And there was a Twitter comment, and it was from Coach Jen from episode 72.
Was that the chick who was the mistress and the side chick?
Yes. So from the episode 72, his and hers, and then there's me, the other woman, part 2. And she said, yes, I would, because I would get to meet the awesome 2 who conduct awesome interviews.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Jen.
So
where was Jen from? Was she local?
I don't know. I should have looked that
up. Because, like, are you going to make the trek? Because, like, for that, well, you know what I mean? We still don't know where to do it.
Yeah. Or if we would do one, because we're not getting the proper responses.
I thought Brigid said less than 10 was good.
Why does it matter what I think?
I don't know.
Well, the guest says.
Yeah. So.
Do we have to get banners made? T-shirts?
I don't know about all that.
Let's see what your turnout's going to be first.
Yeah, so.
We got to see, you know, it might be good if we, like, do it with, like, a local bar and, like, if they do the drink special. And that way we could maybe even, like, get more listeners, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, a local podcast is going to be here doing a live episode, giving relationship advice.
Change the Twitter poll to say, would you do a meet and greet if it was in New Jersey and we gave you free beer?
Whoa. They'd be like, yes.
I don't even know how we do live podcasts. I don't know.
We just go on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I guess.
What happened?
I would actually want to, like, record it, but I don't even know how we would plug everything, all this stuff in. You know what I mean?
With electricity. It's electric.
Have you eaten yet?
Well, yes.
You have? Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
I cooked my Home Chef meal.
I thought I was like, all right, this is
I'm going to hit up Home Chef and ask
Hungry
him.
Jen. What?
No, I'm going to hit up Home Chef and ask them if we can get, like, a promo code. Because I can, like, plug them every week.
You can do that.
Even though their milk gave me agita. Which my boyfriend thought was a made-up white disease.
Isn't it, though?
My dad had to, like, school him on it. He's like, there's no J in it either. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's just a thing we say.
It's like indigestion.
Wow.
So technically, the show hasn't started yet.
Nope.
I hope no one's on a timetable.
We have one more thing, and
Somebody was gonna, like, tell a joke.
We have a Podbean comment from episode 108, which Brigid was on. So close yet so far.
Oh.
The dating and distance dilemma. And this person, is Agene725, and the person said, "Can't limit your search to just your zip code. Limiting your pool. My last relationship was 2 tolls away, and depending on traffic, 90 to 120-minute drive for a 38-mile drive. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do."
As a man, yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I would do it too if the person was worth it, I guess.
See, so when you say that, the
I don't
guy
know. I
has
just
to...
had like a good thing to say.
I was like, the guy has to make the trek all the time? She can make it too.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm losing my steam. No, I mean, everyone should make the trek.
Yeah,
It should be a group effort. But you have to be worth it. Like, don't make me fucking drive 40 miles and you got other hoes on the side. Nope, not doing it.
Yeah. For me, it was like, my point was, I was complaining about it because if you don't know the person yet, you're like wasting your time, you know?
Have you seen the guy yet?
Oh, well, that that story informs today's topic.
Oh,
Segue!
Because,
Funny
you should ask, Jen.
can we jump into that now?
Yes, we can. We're done.
So, turns out I inadvertently suggested today's topic because I was texting my friend Martini about how pissed I was.
Yes.
About dating people who are passive aggressive. And then it actually ended. I was like, you should do a topic on how it sucks to date people who are passive aggressive. Do you have the text message? You're totally going to pull it up, aren't you?
Yes.
He's like, roll the videotape.
I like don't even remember it because I was so mad.
Were you like angry texting with 2 thumbs?
Yeah, probably. I was like, you need to do a topic on this right now.
So what happened? Or we're going to read the text message first.
Oh, it's a long text message because I also saw Infinity Wars.
Yeah, so it was really long.
So like,
Oh, here it is. So it was like, yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about something. Oh, yeah, I gave you an article to read pertaining to your man, whatever.
Oh.
Well, not your man, sorry. The person you're dating.
Damn, he's
And,
downgraded.
And you were like, you guys should do a topic on dating people who are passive aggressive and the worst. So I was like, all right. And then I was like, okay, that harkens to episode 2 where the topic was you're the worst. So I think you should listen to that.
I will.
And you said, and I quote, "Men suck. Dating is awful. I'm moving to Themyscira."
I forgot I said that.
So to anybody who didn't catch that reference, Themyscira is a land filled with women.
Badass women.
Badass women, yes. And is away from, well, not away from Earth. It's hidden. It's hidden away from Earth, so like
Is
no
it next
man
to
can
Wakanda?
penetrate it. No, they're on the opposite ends of the Earth.
Oh.
They're in different universes.
So there's that. So I was just like, wow.
Damn.
So yes. So to
So
Jen,
what prompted this text?
what happened?
So we were trying to meet up again. We kept canceling on each other, mostly because of the distance stuff. It was, partially because, he's a landlord, and then there was like sewage leak and like all this stuff, and I get it.
Hashtag not my problem.
Right, yeah. But it was also like, hey, I can meet you for like a couple hours or something, and I was like, I am not coming all the way into the city to meet you for like
2 hours.
a burger and then like go home. Like, I want to spend the day with you because I gotta make the most of my time while I'm with you. So I suggested, because I know he lives near the Bronx Zoo, I was like, let's go to the zoo. I've never been to that zoo before. And I hear
really
great
wanted
things.
to go.
I was like really more into going to the zoo than I was into seeing him, to be honest.
2 words, 1 stone. Let's do it.
Yeah, but we had these plans for like a week. And I was even like, he bought dinner last time. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's on me. I will pay for the zoo tickets. Like, we'll go. It'll be awesome. Whatever. So, and I wanted to go because I don't have Saturdays off very often. So the fact that I had a Saturday off, I was like, this is what we're going to do. This is like perfect timing. So the night before, like, and when I say the night before, I mean like 9 p.m. before we're supposed to meet. He says, you know what? I should pull up the text message.
Yes, go right ahead.
Because it's not like he's ever going to listen to this, right?
Now you never know.
You're right. Positive thoughts.
Does he know about the podcast?
I didn't mention it, but
I mean, if he does,
All
whatever.
press is good press.
If he does, whatever.
If he does,
you're not.
thank you.
You're not saying anything wrong,
Yes. Okay. So he says, so something is up with my lower back. Not sure what, but I made a weird move, and it felt like something shocked my legs. I still want to rock the zoo, though. So this, I was immediately upset because if he really still wanted to go to the zoo, would he have texted me about his back pain in the first place? I'm like, if you really...
I get you.
What annoys me about it is if he had said, hey, my back is in a lot of pain, I still want to see you, let's do something else. Like, if he'd been like, I'm sorry, I really don't feel comfortable walking around, let's get dinner instead, or whatever.
Where did the rest of the text message go?
'Cause
I don't know. I don't know how, like, your conversations have gone before that. Like, I could totally see myself being like, oh my God, I have the worst migraine today, but I still want to go tomorrow. Like, I don't know. Because I overshare like that.
Right. But...
Just playing devil's advocate.
Okay. So I said, oh shit, that sounds terrible. You probably don't want to walk around the zoo like that. We can find something else to do. And I said, we can always save the zoo for a warmer Wednesday and play hooky because the zoo is free on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, thanks for that. Is there anything in particular you have in mind? It's like, well, what I have in mind is the zoo. So I don't know. I guess a lot of it comes from the fact that I have dated people who have made everything my problem, and I have to do all the work, and it's always been super one-sided. So I need to get something back, especially when I'm the one who has to travel
Right.
to see him. So it's like, if he had taken some initiative and said, hey, I'm not feeling up to going to the zoo, but I came up with other things for us to do.
Right.
Like,
Then you would have been fine.
yes, then I would have been like, yes, that sounds great. You're taking initiative. Like, this is perfect. But then, and like, we're having this conversation the night before we're supposed to be meeting. And so I said, I was like, honestly, not really. Anything I can think of requires walking. Because I was like, oh, we can go to a museum. Oh, shit. I was like, oh, we can go bowling. And, oh, shit. Like, he's going to be on his feet at anything I can think of. And I'm like, I mean, we could just have a meal again. But again, that's the kind of thing where, like, I'm not going to take the trip all the way in just to have a meal. And, like, I'm going to spend money to spend money to spend money. Like,
right.
And for, like, 2 hours, and it's not worth it. So he never got back to me that night. I did not hear from him again that night. I had the day off. I heard from him the day we were supposed to meet at 12:54 p.m. And he said, I feel like I'm wasting your time.
Ew.
And then he said, I'm at an urgent care seeing if I can get muscle relaxers. And that was it. We have not spoken since.
Did you reply?
Absolutely not.
You rock.
I'm like, he could have sent, like, the fact that he sent both of those texts. It could have been one or the other, but it was, I feel like I'm wasting your time. But then also trying to play the sympathy card.
Right.
And he made everything my problem. It was my responsibility to let him off the hook. It was my responsibility to come up with something for us to do. And I'm the one that's supposed to feel bad for him, so make him feel better about the fact that he's canceled on me. Like, and he didn't even cancel on me. That's the other thing that sucks about passive-aggressive people.
What time were you supposed to leave for the zoo or for the meetup?
Well, we never talked about it. That was what I was hoping to talk about the day before. But then instead, he was changing our plans completely. But he never actually changed them. He was leaving it. I'm the one that said, let's change our plans. But, like, technically, it was him. So
this was last week?
Yeah, it would have been, because it would have been last Saturday.
And you haven't heard from him since?
No.
Wow.
I'm happy that he hasn't tried to, like, fix things.
Right, right.
Yeah, he,
I'm sorry that sucks. That didn't work out. But
yeah, I mean,
I mean, Martini's not going to agree with this because Martini's, pessimistic. But we need a camera sometimes.
Yeah, it's like Martini's facial expressions are meme-worthy.
They really are. Damn it.
Don't you dare.
She's getting the phone ready for the...
Don't you dare. Yeah, say your piece.
Martini, have I told you lately that you're amazing?
Martini's pretty amazing.
Trying to soften the blow. Go ahead, yo.
When bad shit like that happens, I feel like it happens for a reason. And it sucks when it happens. The
reason is I don't have to drive to the Bronx.
Well, regardless. But, like, imagine if, like... I've done this before. I've put in more effort than I should have put in and dragged relationships out. I applaud Brigid 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have been like, whoa, let's do this. And I would have been, like, trying to come up with ideas because I wanted to see him. And, like, not really letting him be the man and, like, take the lead. Also, because I'm a little bit more alpha, I'm just kind of like, this is what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. But I totally applaud the fact that you were like, you know what? You ain't answering me back. You come with this bullshit. Bye.
That's why I said you have done more for less. That's what I was talking about. Go on.
Please don't put a throwback. We know what you said. So
Sometimes I feel like we just gang up a martini.
no, I think Martini sometimes thinks like, oh, I thought you were such a great girl, but she's really a raging cunt. But also meme worthy. Anywho,
Did you say that?
No.
in his head he did.
If you don't like my producing skills, I can just stop right now.
I like your producing skills. I'm just saying we don't need to know that you said that. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All the good listeners know, and if not, they can go back and listen to the episode prior to this to catch up. Regardless, irregardless, whatever. It's a good thing. Like, when things don't work out, when Yoga Chick didn't work out, when the Bronx doesn't work out, when the married guy doesn't work out.
Yeah. Specifically when the married guy does not work out.
Right, because that's the reason.
No, but listen, I thought about this like really hard the other night when I was trying to remember his name. Like, imagine I never found out he was married.
Right.
Like, because I was kind of like on the. I didn't know what my boyfriend now like wanted.
Yeah.
And he was very like, oh, well, I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude was like, married dude was like, I want to see you. I want to do this with you. And I was like, okay. But, then I was like, why can he only come over at midnight?
Why do we never go to his place?
Like, who watches this kid? Regardless. So, like, if I would have put more effort into that, I would have missed out on this opportunity, being my boyfriend, as I point upstairs. And, like, obviously probably gotten really hurt if I put more effort into that and then, whatever. So it's really a good thing.
Right. That's why I just decided to not bother. I mean, if he'd been, like, the perfect man.
How old is he?
I think you asked me that last time, too. I'm not actually sure. He's, like, in my age bracket. I mean, he might be a couple years older than me. But
I'm only asking because, like, I feel like at a certain point in life, men, especially men who are willing to date women who are outside of their 8-mile radius, I feel that you should have things planned to do. Go on fucking Groupon. It's amazing. Like, we can go to a concert for $20. We can throw axes, apparently, is a thing.
that is awesome.
We can go do indoor paintball or whatever. Go on Groupon, find something. Or go on to, like, Free Events NYC and, like, see what there is. Like, Shakespeare in the Park would be kind of cool when the summer comes,
That's true.
Like, especially living in this area, there's a lot to do. There's a fucking food truck festival, like, every weekend. Or some kind of carnival or something, like. And you know what? I think women need to be more open to different kind of dates.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that men need to be, with the dawn of the internet, the dawn, whatever, the sun setting on the internet at this point. But, like, I think there's, like, a plethora of things out there to do, and you need to take the initiative to do them, or to find them to do. They're not that fucking hard. Google what to do on my date on Friday.
So why did you say that women need to open up their mind with a different type
Because
of dates?
they think, like, some women are like, oh, we're supposed to go for drinks or to the movies. No. That's not necessarily even fun. Like,
Yeah, I prefer not to, especially in the
both
beginning.
movies, yeah. I don't remember the first movie that I saw with my boyfriend, but I think it was, like, very far into our relationship. And he probably picked it. It was probably a Marvel movie.
Excellent choice.
I did see Infinity War. It was amazing. Don't tell him I said
So
that.
amazing. It's early. Don't spoil anything for your
I won't.
listeners.
Mark Ruffalo apparently spoiled it a year ago. Sidetracked. Sorry. I'll tell you guys that later.
Yeah, tell me later because I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, he accidentally did, yeah.
So anywho, but yeah, like, my first date with my boyfriend, well, first we went to Starbucks, then he took me to dinner at a hibachi place, and I actually liked that because we sat at a table with a bunch of people, and I got to see how we interacted with other people.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, there was other couples there, like older couples, and, like, you know how everyone kind of just talks to each other at the hibachi table, and they're all doing the sucky.
I hate social interaction, so it's kind of my worst nightmare. But I
was like, wow, he's, like, actually social and talks to other people. Because I had dated, like, I know it's really bad to compare, but I was, like, sitting there thinking, like, my ex would kind of just, like, sit here and eat his food and mind his business. Like, I wanted to be with someone who, like, people like.
Yeah.
You know, so when you get to see those things, it's cool. And then when our next date was we went to the botanical gardens. Would I ever want to go to the fucking botanical gardens back in the day? Old Jen? No, it's stupid.
That sounds awesome.
It was really nice. We go to the Japanese festival. You see trees. People are dressed up like ninjas. I mean,
nothing says true love like ninjas.
Exactly. But you have to be open to those things. Like if he was like, "Oh, you want to go to botanical gardens?" and I was like, "Eh."
Yeah, try new things.
But boo to you, Bronx.
And I just want to be clear. If he was really in pain, like, that's fine. I feel bad for him. I hope he feels better and that he's okay. But it's more just how he handled the situation that I'm upset about.
Right. You need to be straightforward. You can't be like, "Oh, my back hurts, but we can still do the zoo." Because then imagine if you were like, "Okay," and then all day he was like,
that's
bitching.
what I thought about doing. I thought about being like, "Okay, great, I'll see you at 11." Like, because
You're like, fuck.
Because then he would have been like, "Oh," and then he would have been stuck because that's what happens when you try to manipulate people. And like, he probably didn't even realize that's what he was doing, but I did because my ex was super freaking manipulative, and I can see the signs from a mile away.
Right. I feel like you just have to be like straight, especially now. We're not like teeny boppers anymore.
Right. I'm done with games.
Like by, your late 20s, you should know exactly what you want and having a good idea of how to get it. And you should say what you want. I feel like there's a conversation April and I had the other day. Like, sometimes people are afraid to say things to people because they don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just need to say them. Like, and maybe him saying, like, "I feel like I'm wasting your time," was a partial thing, but then, like, to continue the conversation by being like, "I'm at the ER."
Right, exactly.
We don't care. You just told me I'm wasting your time. That means we're done.
That's why I was like, it's either send one of those messages, but not both of them.
Right.
And I don't know. I was like, all right, well, he's kind of letting me off the hook here by saying he thinks he's wasting my time. Because I'm like, all right, that's fine. Then we're done. Like, if you feel like you are wasting my time, then you are.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to make you feel better about that and say like, oh, all right, then it's worth it for me to like, no, don't feel like that. I like you a lot. Like, no, if you think you're wasting my time, then you are. That's it.
When people tell you and show you who they are, you got to believe them.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I just think you have to be upfront about it. Like, not you. I mean, like, he should have just been upfront. Like,
he should have said like, my legs hurt. I can't go to the zoo. Let's, I don't know, go skydiving. I don't like. You don't need your legs for that.
Or, like, or maybe even just like, "I really like you, but this distance thing is not working for me, and I don't see how, it's gonna work, and it's a little frustrating, and it's a little bit more effort than I'm willing to put in."
Totally fine.
It sucks. Either way, it sucks to hear, but it's better to know.
Yeah. What do you got, Martini?
Oh no, I was just listening. I was like, it was good. No, but this was from everydayhealth.com, and it to basically pretty much say what passive aggressive is. So, passive aggressive, what does it really mean? Passive aggressive is a term that's often used to describe someone who retaliates in a subtle way rather than speaking his mind. The term passive aggressive is defined as the unassertive expression of negative sentiments, feelings of anger, and resentfulness. People with passive-aggressive personality typically don't disagree or voice their resentment. It's their behaviors that indicate that they're passively ignoring a request or responsibility or doing it only with resentment. So there's that. She's like, yeah.
I do not disagree.
I don't think if I dated anybody like that. I'm sure I did.
I feel like we all at least know somebody like that.
Yeah.
Or we're passive aggressive ourselves.
Oh yeah.
When I was like looking at this, I was like, shit.
I do that.
This is fucking me.
Especially people who are non-confrontational.
Oh yeah. Now Jen is doing the meme where the faces. Would you like to describe?
You should. This is news to you.
What was the thing that you just said? You shouldn't be afraid to say what you want to say.
You're hella passive aggressive. Whatever.
But isn't that demon talk me saying what I need to say?
We'll just do it your way, Jen. What?
Well, see, like, you have to work with him. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever experienced him being passive aggressive, but
me and Martini dated though, so
that's true. And I feel like people are more likely to do it in relationships than they are to just regular people, and their families too, probably.
The instance that I brought up the other day when your brother was here about you when we were first dating and your mom didn't want you taking the truck or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he was like mad. I was like waiting for him to come. I was in the nail salon in Belleville. I'll never forget. And I was like, "Hey, Martini's coming to see me." And I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm so mad." I'm like, "Okay." "My mom's not going to let me take the truck, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "We had plans." And you're just like, "I don't know. Let me call you back." Then he calls me back and he's like, "My mom said I could take the truck, but I'm not coming now." What? I'm like, who are you fighting here? Like, that's only gonna like that. And then I was just like, I'm not doing this. This is insane.
Yeah. Yes.
But you were just mad at the wrong person. I was like, maybe.
No, I'm also mad at her.
Yeah, well then you should have just took the truck and stayed out later. Not come home or something. I don't know. That's the way you do it.
Speaking from experience, I see. This is why your dad threw your keys out the freaking into the woods.
We know too much about each other.
Jeez. So there's an article from Psychology Today, and it says 10 passive aggressive things people say. Number 1, I'm not mad. Number 2, fine, whatever.
Fine is the big one.
Number 3 is what I was explaining to you in the car.
Yeah.
I'm coming, which is passive aggressive persons are known for verbally complying with a request, but behaviorally delaying its completion. So if whenever you ask your kid to clean his room and he cheerfully says, "Okay, I'm coming," but then he fails to show up to complete the chore, chances are he is practicing the fine passive aggressive art of temporary compliance.
Kind of like when I asked my boyfriend if he wants to get married.
Ooh.
Number 4.
Does he say like, "Yeah, sure, babe"?
He says eventually.
Number 4. I didn't know you meant now. So that's one. Number 5. You just want everything to be perfect. Number 6. Oh, I thought you knew.
Oh. I might be guilty of that one.
Uh-oh. Number 7. Sure, I'd be happy to. Sarcasm.
I'm well versed.
There. Exactly. Number 8. You've done so well for someone with your education level.
Oh, that's savagery.
Oh my god, microaggressions.
Number 9. I was only joking. And number 10. Why are you getting so upset?
I don't know if I agree with all of those. That they like
well,
really
well,
passive aggressive.
I didn't want to read the thing. Right. I mean, I didn't want to read all of them because
Right.
it would take too long. But
Right. Well, I don't know. What can we do to like avoid passive aggressive people?
well,
Funny you should ask.
Yeah, good.
how to stop passive aggressive behavior? No, you're not crazy. So this is from eharmony.com.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, they don't like gay people,
What
so
the-
let's see.
really?
Really?
Yeah,
They don't have a gay-to-gay
They
option?
for sure do not.
Gay to gay.
They don't have a gay option?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless things have changed, but that is like one of the number one
Really?
things about them is they're very, very straight.
Interesting.
Fuckers?
Yeah, and it's not free, so
Wow, true.
dating should be free.
So it says the top thing is tell him directly that you're afraid he's being passive aggressive. Say, "I really hope that I'm not right, but I have this feeling that you're being passive aggressive." Continue by saying, "Let me tell you the specific things you're doing that I'm having a negative reaction to," and then give him specifics. The goal is to not have him say, "You're right," right away. So say your piece and then give him some time, a few hours, a day, to digest it. Finally, conclude your talk by saying, When I start feeling this way, it makes me feel less close to you. From now on, I'm asking that you voice your anger or annoyance with me more directly.
I should be taking notes.
At this point, a few hours that day to be by yourself or in the company of friends or family you trust. If you live together, you can spend time in another room so you have space from his problematic and unfair behavior. So I guess pretty much just be more direct.
Yeah, I guess if lead by example in a way.
Communicate.
Yeah, because I think in my last relationship, because it was so emotionally abusive, throwback, he was manipulative, but then I think it also brought out a lot of the same behavior in me. So, he'd be passive aggressive and I'd probably do it back just because I had to be so, I couldn't confront him on things. And I think I've been hyper aware of my, the fact that I'm prone to that. So I take steps to not be passive aggressive myself. So I know how to not be passive aggressive, but I don't know how to stop other people from being passive aggressive. So that's some good advice, I guess.
I guess the only thing, I guess when you have to deal with passive aggressive people, in that situation, maybe you had to, which sucks, but maybe you had to have been honestly, my only real plan was to do, you have to speak in full sentences. My only real plan was to do the Bronx Zoo, but I understand that your back hurts, so maybe if you can come up with something that we could do, that would be helpful. Instead of just, leaving it in the air. In his, if someone's going to be passive-aggressive, they're not going to be able to, fill in the blanks. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so I did try to counteract it with being as, direct as possible. Mm-hmm. And at first I kind of did play along where, he's like, I still want to go to the zoo. And I was like, oh, no, you shouldn't have to do that. Or, I did, give in a little bit, even though my instinct was to be like, okay, see you then. But, yeah, I know what you're saying.
What do you need, the email?
No, I need to see it.
You can't see my phone.
I need to see the port of the phone.
Oh, he wants to charge.
This is a type C. Yeah, can I get a charger, please?
Right this second?
Yes, please.
So we can continue the show.
I'd have to leave for that.
That's fine.
Damn.
No, we're not gonna do anything. We're waiting on you.
I'm gonna go to the car.
Are you gonna leave this in?
Yeah, just for that.
I think my ex-boyfriend was passive aggressive.
You think so?
Yeah. Sometimes. Other times it was just a dick.
All right, well, let's see. 5 signs your man uses passive aggressive power to control everything.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this is from yourtangle.com. Number 1, he says one thing but means another.
Textbook.
Number 2, he has a huge fear of conflict.
It's like a huge what?
Whoa. He has a huge fear of conflict.
Oh. Boyfriend upstairs.
Number 3, he frequently plays the victim.
Oh,
boyfriend upstairs. Damn.
Number 4, he's forgetful.
Oh my God, these are all my ex-boyfriend.
Number 5, he's secretly afraid of you.
Boyfriend upstairs.
Well, you're little and Italian and terrifying. It's fine.
Yeah.
I kill you.
So there's that.
Yeah. Was my ex afraid of me? I don't know, Martina. You know him. Was he afraid of me secretly?
Not to my knowledge. I would have said something. I don't think he was. Top 4 signs you're dating a passive-aggressive woman. This is from eflirtexpert.com.
Okay, they're probably all going to be me. Because that's what's going to happen to me now.
Oh, boy. Number 1, she claims to be spontaneous and outgoing, but delays meeting you.
No, I didn't do that.
Mm-mm.
And number 2, she's canceled meeting up with you more than once.
No.
Shout out to Kathy Yondeli's friend who I tried to get with. This textbook her.
What's going on in your world? Because last time you said you were like talking to some chick, and remember the girl me and Kathy Kathy kind of like schmoed you up with.
Yeah. Episode 33, you can go back to that. Ghosting. So she ghosted. So Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing.
Wait, and weren't you guys supposed to hang out the Sunday after Thanksgiving?
Rain check. She did a rain check, but then she was like, "Oh, let's." I was like, "Okay, fine. Can we do it? Can we make up a day for yesterday?" And she's like, "I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. No problem." Nothing until to this day. Nothing. Still nothing.
Wow.
I was like,
"Wow,
what's going on?" I was like, "You know what? Here's the thing. I wasn't necessarily mad at the ghosting. I was mad because earlier in our conversation, in our initial conversation, I already gave her a way out.
Okay.
And I said, "Hey, if you don't want to do this, it's fine. You know, like you're not obligated to talk to me because
our mutual friend.
Yeah, our mutual friend who hooked us up."
Yeah.
And she was like, no. I want to see how you are, and I want to get to know you better. I'm just I'm more of a texter than a phone talker, because I would call her on the phone. I would always call her up.
Did you guys ever talk on the phone?
Once. She's like, I'm more of a texter instead of a caller.
Gotcha.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. But that was your out. You know what I'm saying? You could have totally dropped it. That's why it was so weird to me that she was so interested in doing those things. And be like, hey, yeah, you could come over and play that video game, or you could come over and we can go to a DJ competition, whatever.
Okay.
So, but I haven't heard her since. And I have the texts to
Got the
talk
receipts.
about.
Does counting because you have to cross a bridge count?
I got the receipts. She tells you she's a tease before you've even had a chance to find out.
Who says that?
Who does that? Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Playful teasing in any relationship is healthy. Having someone tell you they're a tease before even
tells you they're a tease?
Do people say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm such a tease. No, what?
Having someone tell you they're a tease before you've even locked lips is a big red flag. It's code for, I'm going to drive you nuts with my passive aggressiveness. Be prepared for some serious sexual frustration.
Yeah, someone was venting here, I think.
She's typically full steam ahead until a choice has to be made. That's it.
I mean, I never know where I want to go eat, but I don't think that's like 90% of women, so
Oh, boy.
apparently it's a joke.
Well, yeah, I will say that, like, that's probably the cliche, like, what do you want to eat? And like, oh, I don't care. That is definitely passive aggressive. And it's like,
Right.
when
Because
women,
Sometimes we don't know in that moment.
Because when you
though.
suggest something and you're like, no, and you're like, but you just, all right.
That doesn't count.
have you seen that text? If you haven't, you should find it and post it, because it's a tweet. Sorry, that that a guy says, here's a life hack. When you want to go out to dinner, ask your girl to guess where you're surprising her.
Oh, and that's where you take her?
And what she guesses, that's where you take her. And then a girl responds going, he cracked the code I didn't know he had. and so I was like, oh my God, that would totally work on me.
See, but I think I would guess,
wouldn't you?
I would guess his favorite place.
No, but wouldn't you know once it's like, oh, Applebee's? You're like, yeah, and you're like, you got to make a U-turn, and you know, because you're not going there.
Well,
you know
like, let's say you're
You're in the
walking out,
driveway.
you're walking out the door, like, okay, guess where I'm taking you to dinner. I'm like,
oh, then
sushi. Yes, that's where we're going.
that's so bad.
I guarantee you, it would work on me every time.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, and I think once she learned that's what you did, she'd be better at figuring out like where she wanted to go in the future.
So, just like you know, I had a passive aggressive experience, and Jen and I talked about this on a podcast, and it was like, yeah, this was not fun. But anyway, so I go.
We're gonna dredge up the patch again. We're gonna just dredge it up.
Was there English in that sentence?
I heard what she said.
Wait, oh wow, you guys have been working together for way too long.
She said, "Are you gonna drudge up the past? That's what we're gonna do." That's what she said.
I am impressed, and I think you guys need a vacation.
He speaks Jen.
Wow.
I'm not dredging it up. It goes with the thing. You didn't say that with her?
What? This is recent.
So?
All right.
This is still good?
Dredge it up. Let's go.
Go and dredge.
So I go. So I was thinking I'm going down there to Jersey City, correct? On the 26th, because that's where she lived. And she says, yeah, if you can. And I said, I'll have to think of somewhere fun to go. And then, like, some other shit happens. And then that's when I tried to call her, and she says, I'm terrible on the phone. And then I say, hey, I called you again. Not really sure what's up, but I wanted to let you know that if you don't want to chat anymore, it's all good. Please don't feel obligated. Then she says, hey, no, it seems you're really nice and cool, and I'm interested in getting to know you. That's why I texted you earlier today. I think maybe you're just more of a phone person, and I'm more of a texting person. I also don't have a ton of free time. I'm sure you're busy too, and I do appreciate you taking the time to call. And a couple days goes by, and I say, are we still meeting on Sunday? She says, yes, if you're still free. And then Black Friday happens, and she says, unfortunately, I think I have to take a rain check on Sunday if that's okay. And I said, sure, we can take a rain check. Are you busy December 2nd? Try to follow up. And she says, I just need to see what works like next week, and then I'll let you know. I'm supposed to go to this DJ thing later, so I just took a nap. Haha. And I said, oh, snap, is the DJ thing like a battle? It sounds dope. That should be fun. And she goes, I've always wanted to go to one of those. Was supposed to go earlier this year, but I got the flu. Let me know if you hear any coming up, and I'll be totally down. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. She wants to go to this DJ thing. I mean, a DJ thing of my choosing, whatever. That's cool. And then, like, I texted her earlier that day saying, oh, like, how was it? Never heard from her again.
Ever. Like, never again.
Ever. Again.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, okay. Like, why suggest to do an activity with me and not hit me back?
How did you meet this person?
Through a friend.
So it's not even. So I was gonna say, like, that's a thing that I feel like happens when you do online dating a lot, where if like you're talking to multiple people at once, and then one starts to become more like you start to like one more than the other. So then,
yeah.
So then, like, one kind of like just fades away, and like you don't even realize you're doing it, and like I guess I'm probably guilty of that. Honestly, sorry guys. But I could see that. But if you met through like a mutual friend or something, then that's probably less likely the scenario.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So those first two things that I read on the female aspect, I was like, whoa, that's totally her. I was like, okay. Yeah. And the thing that I was miffed about is because I gave her an out. Because I was like, I don't know. Because I don't know if this is going anywhere. Our conversations are awkward. So I was like, yay. Or do you think that I was passive aggressive by saying that?
I think so. When you were reading that, I think what was passive aggressive was when you said, I have to come up with something for us to do. Like, if you had said that to me, I would have interpreted that as you being passive aggressive, even if you didn't mean it that way.
I was just saying, I'll come up with something to do. Like, I'll do it. Not like, I have something to go into.
See, I would have read it as like, I guess I'll find something for us to do.
No.
But that was the only thing that I really thought maybe seemed that way.
That's why communication over text message is so difficult.
It's definitely tough, but I hate talking on the phone, so.
Right. Maybe just talking emojis. No.
Oh, God.
No.
I don't know. Because, like, I mean, right there, like, if she was a good communicator, maybe she could have been like, oh, well, it's my city. Maybe I can recommend something. I don't know.
Well, no, we kind of did that too, because to my knowledge, I've never been to Jersey City before, so I was like, all right,
there's a lot of shit to do there.
Well, yeah, I looked stuff up, but I was like, okay,
you guys could have went to Barcade, even though you don't drink.
I was like, she can help me out because she lives there.
Yeah.
But I was more than willing to see what was going on around
right,
but
that and the time.
She should have offered to help with that.
The time frame. To be clear, I'm not sure. I can't recall if she did, so I don't want to throw her under the bus for that aspect.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, I was looking at stuff through the time, because you know how like towns do specific things for holidays,
right,
whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe we could do something in that vein. So I know I was doing that, so it wasn't like, oh great, I got to do something, nah.
Yeah, it is weird that she you gave her the out, and she was like, no, let's definitely do something. But
yeah, because you're cool and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You're interesting. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, but hey, I gave you an out, man.
See, it's like it's the response that she gave you is what I think Bronx guy was hoping I would give him when he was like, I think I'm wasting your time. Like, I think he was hoping that I would say something back like, no, I think you're cool or whatever. But I wasn't about to do that. So
Right. Yeah.
Up until then, with the Bronx guy, how was your conversation?
They were pretty good. Like, we had a lot to talk about.
You said you didn't text every day, right?
It started dropping off. There was a point where we were texting like every day, and there was something else he said. I actually should see if it sticks out to me while I scroll through this. But there was something else he said that I thought came across a little passive aggressive, and I was like, it was a little bit of a red flag. I'm just gonna make you guys like sit here while I find it. 'Cause that's like not cool.
Jasmine's coming to town next week.
Oh, that's good.
We should have her and her girlfriend on the podcast.
Oh, the girlfriend's coming up too? Mm-hmm. Oh, then we should definitely do that then.
They're going to be living in this room.
Cool.
For a couple days.
We should definitely do that then. Yeah. Let's set it up.
I'd like to talk to the girlfriend about how she went from dating guys to becoming a lesbian overnight.
So
it does not happen overnight.
Well, apparently it did.
She had a guy living with her.
Was it literally overnight? I was gonna say that she is bisexual.
Maybe she didn't know. I need to ask these questions.
Okay, so what is the? Oh, I guess bisexuality. That's the thing. That's whatever. I mean, that can't be the hook. But
like, she's always had boyfriends. I don't know if she ever had interest in girls. That's the questions I need to ask.
No, but like,
Brigid, what question?
What's the topic gonna be about?
I don't know
That's
yet.
what I mean.
I'm just pulling shit up my ass. Did you find your text?
No, I know there was something else that I was like, I don't know about that.
All right,
but.
no, we can have them on, and we can. Talk
I don't know.
about
They
that.
can talk about whatever they want to talk about. Being in a codependent relationship together.
You could ask them for ideas.
Yeah.
I'd say you guys seem to mostly be a opposite sex relationship podcast, which I think sometimes those things don't really apply to same sex relationships.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to get a perspective in that sense. I've only dated one girl, and I don't even really consider that dating because we were both like, I don't know what I'm doing. So.
Yeah. So
well, that's cool if you both don't know what you're doing.
So why don't you text her and see what she wants to talk about? So I believe you had something else to talk about.
Oh, well, I could use maybe some advice from you and maybe your listeners.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have a live listener question.
A live listener question
from Brigid.
Well, so since things have fallen through with Bronx Boy, a little backstory. A few years ago, I'm gonna say it was maybe like 4 years ago, and Martini, we have talked about him. Like when we've hung out, I've like told you about this guy because we dated, but it was so soon after my like big 7-year relationship ended that I just was not ready to date him at all. And he was great. Like he was pretty,
okay.
Yeah, he was pretty great, but I was a little put off by how like he dated by the books, and he just didn't have the confidence I was looking for, I think. And then he let me win at Mario Kart, and I was like really upset about that. But mostly it was really just that I was not ready to date someone. He wanted to get serious really quickly, and I just wasn't ready for that. So we kind of broke it off, and we were like Facebook friends, and we like interact in the comment section on Facebook, especially when he's got like racist white bitches giving him a hard time. So I try to like help him out with that kind of shit. But so we don't really talk. We just kind of, you know that like casual Facebook interaction you have with people that you like don't actually talk to them, but like that kind of thing. Well, I was just, swiping through OkCupid months ago, and he popped up on my OkCupid again. Well, actually, we never matched on OkCupid. We met through someone else I had matched with on OkCupid, which is weird. That's how we met. So I had never seen him online before. But he came up on my OkCupid, and we were a 96% match.
Sounds familiar.
He's like crazy. So I was like, you know what? I really like, to me, he's kind of like the one that got away. Because like every time I've tried to like this is what I talked to you about when we were hanging out once. I was like, I tried to like maybe like bring things up again, where I like I started talking to him, and we had like a little bit of a conversation, but then he, never answered me again, and it just sort of fell off. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm the one that broke things off with him. Maybe he's like just not interested anymore. And then you gave me great advice. You were like, look, you're the one that messed it up. Like, you were nice about it. Yeah.
I said this?
Yes.
Shit. I don't remember.
you were like, yeah, I mean, it'd be great if it works out, but also you got to accept that it might not because, you had your shot, and I was like,
It sounds like, damn, was I mad that day? That sounds really rude.
What day aren't you mad?
True.
Huggies. High five.
But no, it was you weren't mean about it. You were just like, it was kind of like a tough love sort of thing. You were just sort of like, okay, but you may have missed your shot with this guy, and you're gonna have to come to terms with that. No, I don't. He was actually very direct. It was like exactly what I needed to hear. I was like, no, you're right. I'm the one who was like, I couldn't expect this guy to wait for me. Like, that's not fair.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm the one that messed it up. I don't know if I broke his heart. I don't know how much he liked me.
Right.
But I broke it off, so I can't be upset if he's not interested in trying again. You know?
Yeah.
That's fair. But so fast forward to a few months ago. I found him on OkCupid. I'm like, you know what? We're matched really high, and if he swipes left on me and I
this is on quick match?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, so I'm like, if I swipe right and he swipes left, no harm, no foul, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna swipe right because I like this guy. And nothing ever came back. So I was like, okay, you know what? He's not interested. Fine. Closure. Moving on. Like 2 weeks ago, honestly, the day before I was supposed to meet Bronx Guy, I got the notification that he'd swiped right on me.
Interventions. The wrong word. But anyway.
What did you say?
Interventions?
Oh. Did you want to say interference?
No, I don't know what I would say.
Okay.
But like,
that's what it kind of sounded like.
It was more like a coinky-dink type thing, like where
coincidence.
Like where everything happens for a
like
reason.
Cosmic intervention? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
That's it.
go on.
See,
maybe I speak Jen.
Yeah, maybe. Getting there.
So here's the thing, though. I had no idea what to say to him.
Yeah.
So did he say anything to you?
Nope. He's just been sitting in my OkCupid match list.
How long ago was this?
It may have been like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Did you ever tell him you were sorry for the way things ended?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I did anything wrong. Like, I don't think I have anything to be sorry for. Like, I wasn't bad to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the day I broke things off with him, I bought him a coffee.
Well, that was big of you.
Well, so actually there's a story to that, though, because even though I was in a better financial situation, he was the one that kept paying for things. And that's what was getting me a little frustrated, was like, he just kept dating by the book, thinking he had to pay for stuff, even though like I at the time was like pretty well off financially, and I was like, just let me pay for dinner, man. Like, it's really okay. Like, I don't want to put you out here. Like, let's split the load, like that kind of thing. So the reason that I picked a Starbucks as my place to break things off with him was because I didn't want him to pay for my coffee, and I had a gift card. So I was like,
let me ask you one thing before Jen takes this, because I want her to go first. Do you know? I know you reached 96%. Do you know did you ever click on his profile to see? Okay, good. Yeah. So have you seen what the
levels or whatever?
Not levels, but subjects.
I can tell you right now.
But won't that say that you looked at his profile?
Not anymore. It used to. It doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, shit.
Oh. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
I can be real stalkery.
Okay. Now, for me personally, I would like to know what subject thing.
I always check that. Because
yeah, me too.
Sometimes you match high with someone and then realize they only answered like 10 questions.
Oh, that's true too.
And then it's like, it's not accurate.
How many questions has he answered? Yeah, that's good too.
He's like done all of them.
That's a lot.
I don't know if he's done all of them, but we're 93% ethics, 93% lifestyle, 92% dating, 89% sex, 88% other, 83% religion. This is one of the highest match percentages I've ever had with someone.
Let me see him.
He's cute.
Yo, you need to make that happen, Bridge.
He's like really cute.
Whoa, Bridge.
No, he's a cutie.
God damn.
Yes, I for sure dated him and totally made out with his face.
So Jen, go right ahead.
I think first, how long ago was it? You said 4 years ago?
I was... Yeah, it had to be about 4 years ago.
Since you are very much so, or somewhat so, I don't want to judge you, like an alpha type female?
That's true. I would say that's true.
Okay. I don't want to put labels on people that they don't want. Except for you hoes out there. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It just sounded like that needed to be said. So, since you are an alpha female, I would kind of just come to him and be like, fancy seeing you here.
That's what everybody has been telling me to say, and it occurred to me, but I'm like, is that too cheesy? Is it?
And then just be like, truth be told, like, you and I are like one of the highest matches I have, and be like, I feel like, and I only obviously say this if it's true, be like, I feel like I've never said this, but I should say it, that I wish you and I did meet at a later time, because when I did meet you, I did think you were super awesome, but it was just a terrible time for me to date.
Is that too much too fast? Is that a lot? That is a lot to say.
That's the truth.
That's the truth, though.
It's the truth.
It wouldn't be like putting pressure on him.
You're not. No, but here's the thing. You're not
You're
saying,
opening a door.
You're interpreting it as this must be fate. This is it. Where she's saying, which was what I wanted to say, too, is that
don't put that pressure on me.
No.
I will never message him.
Give me her phone.
No, but it's to say that, like, yeah, I wish we have should have met at a later time, because I totally wasn't ready, and I'm sorry if I did anything to you. You know, I know you said that you aren't sorry for what happened, but you're saying you're sorry that
if it affected him.
Yeah, if it affected him, but you're not sorry for you doing the act. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
I don't think I did anything wrong.
No, you didn't. But I don't. But for you saying I'm sorry, you shouldn't interpret it as you're sorry for doing what you did.
Right.
That's what I mean.
I would just be like, I would open with a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy seeing you here just seems perfect.
Yeah.
You could come up with a better line, by all means, run with it.
But something along those lines.
I was like, I wish OkCupid you could send GIFs, because I would send like an office guy in an office chair like swiveling around, like, you know, when like you walk into someone's office and they swivel around, and then be like, fancy seeing you here.
Yeah. You can write like : insert swivel chair, or maybe that's overdoing it.
No, have you seen those like cringy posts though? Like those hilarious posts of like guys messaging girls with like the actions in asterisks.
Oh God.
And it's like the cringiest thing ever.
Pelvis thrust.
Oh God.
I gotta show you guys these things. They're
but
hilarious.
I would just say fancy seeing you here, or not look what the cat track did.
Oh no!
No, not that. Scratch that from the record. And then just be like, wow, be like, pretty awesome. We have like a really high match. And then, I mean, if you want to be like, I know we chat on Facebook sometimes, but how are you? Mm-hmm. And then like open up the conversation, and then just be like, I feel like I need to get. He's like, oh yeah, ask how he is.
No. I forgot that you guys were still Facebook friends.
Well, so that's one of the other things that's like weird for me, is it's like I have two possible platforms to message him on.
Right.
So which one do I choose? Like, it seems like a stupid thing to think about, but
OkCupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess, yeah.
Because that's where the, not where the intent is. That's where the realization happened. That's where the realization happened. It didn't happen on Facebook. Right. Facebook, you guys are friends. But here, it's like a secret club.
Right, yeah.
You know, and you're like, oh.
Well, I meant like Facebook Messenger, but like.
Well, no, but you know what I mean.
I guess it also gives him an out to pretend he never saw it. Like, if he's not going to answer, like, I won't be mad. But he swiped right.
But there's your in. He gave you the in.
Yeah, I don't know. See, like, that's why, technically, I mean, if you want to get real technical about it, the last time we spoke, I was the last one to say something, and he never responded, and I feel like the ball is in his court. But maybe him swiping right was the technicality.
Was
the pass.
Yeah. But you're alpha, so you should do it.
Okay.
And because you don't want things to be typical, you don't, like, that was one of the things that you were kind of like about him, that he was like very by the book by things. If you taking the initiative now will set the precedent that textbook shit is not really how you do things.
Right. I think I can be. I think we're also in different places in life now.
Right.
Our careers we've sort of switched places. Like, back when we were dating, I was the one who was like, I'd moved out of my parents' house. I had a really good job, salary, benefits. I was doing something in my field. he was working like a job that he felt was like dead end and it wasn't his passion. And like, he was like, not to say he felt intimidated, but it's possible that maybe he did. And that's why he kept feeling like he had to step up and like pay for.
And how long did you guys like kind of date for?
I'd say we went on like 3 or 4 dates. Like, it wasn't like that long.
And I think if things would have like progressed, you could have had the reins to say, listen, I don't need you to pay all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like maybe I was unintentionally like emasculating him.
Right.
And mostly because of like our various places. And like, he's a few years older than me, but was also, I guess you could say, quote unquote, further back in progress, which I think is bullshit. Like, I think we all do things at our own pace, and like, you know, it's whatever. It's a freaking.
Oh, I
it's
want
stupid.
updates on this. I really think you should message him like tonight, and I think you should just be okay with whatever the outcome is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, I had already moved on. Like, I was prepared to like have it never be a thing.
But if
again.
you think he's that person who can like ignite that little flame inside,
ew,
and he lives.
You're getting touchy feely here.
Why did you say ew?
I don't like feelings. Haven't we discussed?
Oh God. Anywho, how far does he live?
Oh, he's like, well, I think he might live across the bridge, but like in Westchester.
Oh, that's fine. That was your limit.
Yeah, he's like from this area, but I think
he's
he
like,
moved
hey,
for
Bridge,
work.
how you been? I just moved to the Bronx. You're like, motherfucker.
I would lose it.
You're like, fuck this conversation. I
but-
didn't have anything to
So,
say.
but like, he's moved out from his parents' place, and he has a job like doing something that he loves now, and I'm the one who's like living with my parents again, have no job, and like am like totally lost. So we've like switched places, so I think it might kind of like shift the dynamic a little bit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think you should totally engage in the conversation, and I think it's okay not to say that you were wrong, but to just say like, you know, I do wish that it was a different time. I was at a different place in my life because I just gotten over something really bad, and like I didn't really know then that I needed time to kind of process it.
I was living with my ex-boyfriend when I dated him. Like, he was my ex at the time, but we were living together. So like,
and he was okay with that, or he didn't know.
Oh, I didn't give a shit. What I mean,
No,
like,
no,
he,
not the ex. Like,
oh,
okay, Cupid guy.
yeah, he knew. He knew that we were like strictly platonic at that point, and like, I mean, that's the thing is like we weren't like exclusive yet anyway. So like, it wouldn't if he'd voiced having a problem with it, then I would have had a problem with that.
Right.
You know, like I was in a bad situation, but it was my situation to deal with.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't have been any of his business. But he knew about it, and he was like. He was a cool, supportive guy. But, like, I think I've probably told this story, like, a million times. I probably even told it on this podcast during the emotional abuse one. Where when we went on a date, there was snow on the ground, and the, like... Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, and he picked you up or something?
No.
Were you watching, like, a romantic comedy?
No, it was more that, like, so the sidewalk had been shoveled, but, like, the pathway was only wide enough for one person to walk. And I was used to, like, in my old relationship, I would instinctively stop walking so that my boyfriend could walk ahead of me. And, like, I would just follow suit. Like, it was just, like, walk behind him. It was just, like... So instinctively, we're walking down the sidewalk. I stopped to let him go ahead of me, and he was like, he looked at me, he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I just kept walking, and then he walked in the snow so that he could walk next to me. And I was like,
story now.
I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, it's like such a stupid little thing, I guess, but like in comparison to what I had been dealing with for 7 years, and I was living with that person, it was just a lot, like to have things like that,
Right.
Like weigh on. I'm not gonna get emotional. It's like,
Kanye, where are you?
It's 2 for 3.
Martini.
That's where it stops.
I'm gonna poke the bear. Let's go.
It's not happening.
Want to get some things out here?
No.
Were you saying that like whenever I'm on, it's like a deep topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I like it when things line up that way, the way that it's happening to you. Mm-hmm. So to me, I absolutely,
Kismet?
yeah, no, I absolutely feel that you should do it, and yeah, whatever happens, happens.
Right.
But
Do it
for the
tonight.
fact
before you leave here.
Don't you want to like see what your listeners have to say?
We don't have time for that.
The other thing is
they don't say shit to us anyway. So
first of all, he's fine. Other bitches are swiping right too, but you have an in.
So the timing is a little weird because it's like I don't want to like give too much away about him. So people, like, I don't want people to realize who he is. But he just
Is he famous?
No.
Is he a rapper?
I mean, like people. There might be people who, if I don't know, degrees of separation, they might figure it out. Whatever.
Okay.
But he so the way that I met him was like I met this guy on OkCupid who after talking to him I realized he was actually in a relationship and he was only on OkCupid to recruit people to come to his poetry events. And he's like a really weird guy and it's hilarious.
Is this Kurt?
No.
I was like, what?
So like that guy became a good friend of mine and I went to poetry events that like for this club that he runs.
Are these poetry events still happening?
Yeah.
I'd like to go.
They're cool.
Oh, do you go?
I don't because I didn't want to run into this guy. So
Let's go.
Because I met him.
I have some poetry to share.
Snap.
Snap.
So here's the story. I went to a poetry slam, and this guy came up. I'd never seen him before. He
the OkCupid
was
guy.
Yeah. Well, the guy that I want to start dating. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, OkCupid guy.
We're gonna call him OkCupid guy.
Well, because I didn't meet him through OkCupid, so like
right.
Yeah.
Well, he is now the
OkCupid guy.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
fair. So he walked up on stage and like he was beautiful, and he had this like really like deep sexy voice and he just started his poem and I was like, oh my god, this guy is awesome. And then I like saw him at a few more poetry things, and then I got invited out by like my friend who'd introduced me to the poetry stuff, invited me out one night, and it happened to be Valentine's Day, but I don't think he even realized that it was Valentine's Day. He invited me out to like get food, go to the mall with like a group of friends, and I was like, okay, cool. I got there and realized that it was two couples and this guy, like OkCupid guy.
Oh, so
And
now 3 alleged couples.
So it like was inadvertently a triple date, and it wasn't supposed to be that. It was just the people who said yes that they would come. Mm-hmm. Like it just happened to be that way. But it was also Valentine's Day. So we had a really nice time. We exchanged numbers, and I went out with him. I think like a week later. So like I texted my friend. I was like, "Hey, you know that guy you introduced me to? I think I'm dating him." And he
I fell into dating with him. I don't.
He was like, "What? That's so cute. I love that." Like he was like really excited about it. And I was like, Did you do this on purpose?" He was like, "I didn't, but I'm happy it's happening." So anyway, so that I went off on like a tangent there. So he still does the poetry thing, and that's kind of the reason that I've stopped going to these poetry things is because I didn't want to run into him. And because he like wins these slams, like he's really good.
I just had a million amazing ideas.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm like,
Martina gets nervous when I say that.
I'm like giving way too much away about this guy. I feel kind of guilty about it, but he like told me the story that he. Am I? Oh, that's awkward. He said when he was younger he had a stutter, and that he like learned to get over it, but like his speech, just like having normal conversations, is a little awkward because he's like trying not to stutter. He had to like retrain himself to talk, but you can't tell at all when he's reading his poetry because he like rehearses it, and it's like I don't know, it's just like adorable. The coolest thing. So he does really well at these slams, and he just on this past Saturday won the regional competition. Or no, he won like the finals for our county. So now he's going to regionals in Chicago with like our team. And so I feel like now would be like a really weird time to message him, like right after he won. Like I don't want to be like, oh hey, so now that you've won this thing, now you're good enough for me. Like that's because that's not my intention.
Nothing to do with anything. No, you're making it something. No.
Really, you don't think he's gonna?
No.
I overthink everything.
No. First of all, the fact that he does poetry wasn't even a factor 5 minutes ago. It just happens to be something that he does. Even if you got a big promotion, that doesn't mean that doesn't change the price of tea in China Who says that?
Apparently you do.
You say that.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it doesn't change how like you feel about him as a person.
No,
But
it doesn't.
it's
But
a
I don't
good-
want him to
it's-
think that.
Do you know?
Not in other realms, yes. In this poetry thing, no.
No.
Okay.
Because
If
it's
he-
not
if
like he's
he-
gonna get like $1 million scholarship, and you're like, yeah, maybe I can cash in on that.
Or like or if he got like a new Bentley or a new car or something like that, and he was like showing it on not television, but on Facebook,
Right.
and you're like, hey, what's going on? He was like, oh, now you wanna no. He's killing it at his craft.
Which
Right.
is
That's
great.
it.
Which just makes him more attractive.
I just don't want it to necessarily be about that. Like
Then
I
you
don't.
don't even have to mention that you know that.
No, I
Let him tell you.
I guess. I mean, because I know because I follow the poetry group on Facebook. So
Okay, so maybe you just haven't been paying attention lately. So, what have you been up to, okay, Cuba guy? Oh, remember the poetry thing we went to? I actually just won nationals, and I'm going to Ohio. Oh my God, that's freaking great! Congratulations! I'm really proud of you.
Boom.
Boom. End of story.
Completely side swipes your fear.
Okay.
And that way, it doesn't look like you've necessarily been checking up on him either.
That's true. I don't want to be creepy. Oh my! I hope he never listens to this. Oh my God.
No, but before I like it when things end up this way, and I absolutely do think you should talk to him.
Message him before Friday.
And
Why?
Mostly-
I've been given a deadline.
Mostly because I've said so.
no,
Maybe you want something to do on Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. Maybe he's
this
got plans.
this looks good. You know, so from what I'm hearing and the percentages, you know, like
Right.
that's really good.
They're like scary high.
Yeah, they're really good.
Like intimidatingly
They're all
high.
they're all above 80, and that's really great. I mean, of course, you can even go in depth again by looking at
the actual
questions.
answers.
Well, yes, answers. I
Yeah.
should say. So that's great too. But
Yeah.
I really like it, and especially since he swiped again, and maybe the reason why he hasn't hit you back is because he's concentrating on the poetry.
That's very possible.
So I think you really should hit him up. I'm
I'm so nervous.
I'm very positive
Listen, the
about
I
worst-
just feel like this
the
is
worst
my
thing-
last shot. You know.
The worst thing that can happen
With
is that you put
him.
yourself out there.
Not at
I
dating.
know. That's true.
The worst thing that can happen is you put yourself out there and you're just where you are now. But at least
That's true.
But at least you know.
And I'm good where I am. So like.
Right.
I feel like the timing of this, aside from like the poetry thing, which I guess is not really a factor. You guys are
no,
right.
you're just making it up.
I feel like
anyway.
the timing is very good because I'm happy being alone. I'm like we were, back to the beginning again. We were like, I've been thinking about adoption like as a single person. I don't
Bridget need to hang out.
I don't. Yeah, we do.
Let's go to the poetry thing.
Yes.
Martine, this is what I was thinking. Side note.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that we should bring back some of our poetry and go to the poetry thing and promote the podcast.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
As a poetic duo. Boom, boom, boom.
We should what?
Promote the poetry. Boom, boom. I mean, do some poetry.
Yeah.
Read the poetry
Yeah.
and promote the podcast.
Oh.
As long as they'd be cool with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
Sure.
think they'd have a problem with it. I just,
I don't want to get angry again.
when are you not angry?
I didn't.
So-
Deja
I didn't
vu.
say you had to read the old poems that you wrote about me. Those evil fucking.
I only wrote one, and that's gone.
It was a really good poem.
and that's
though.
gone forever. So I think that's a good thing.
Wait, do
Something.
all three of us write poetry?
I used to.
Oh my
Oh no,
God.
actually no. I'm lying.
Let me bring up-
I still do write poetry.
Let me write out the books. Bring
That's
out
so
the
crazy.
books.
I totally write poetry. I did not know. I knew this about you,
Oh, did
Jen.
you?
Yeah, because you've talked about it
Oh.
on the podcast before. But I knew you wrote. I didn't know you wrote poetry.
Yeah. Every once in a
He
while.
was actually really good. It was moving. I read it to everybody in the office.
I'm sure he loved that.
He didn't know.
Now I do. Because it was funny because I was going to recall that because you said that you were at the poetry thing on Valentine's Day,
And so was Martini.
which made me recognize. Like, I think I've told you the story, right? Where I was with. Well, she wasn't my ex-fiance at the time, but she was my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we went to my friend's poetry slam, and I wrote
Shout out to Verbal Lift.
I guess
Dissertation.
goodbye, a goodbye. Okay, I wrote a fuck you to Jennifer, and I said it on a thing, and it was recorded too. But they lost the recording. I lost the poem, but I did it there because she watched and I knew she'd see it eventually. So it was kind of like I'm done with Jen. This is who I'm gonna, this is who I'm gonna be with.
Damn.
But the ex-fiance was kind of pissed because I siphoned the
anger
hour day to say goodbye to my ex-girlfriend.
It was definitely weird because all my poetry was about my ex. So like angry stuff about my ex, but I was like reading it in front of this guy that I was dating.
So that's gone to the wind. I really don't know where it is.
I wish I did.
I don't think it'll ever come up, but
you probably have it somewhere.
No, I don't. I don't know what happened. Like we printed it and I just don't know.
Printed it.
Remember those things?
But I remember her telling me that.
Where is this poetry reading thing?
It varies. They have sometimes they have open mic nights and sometimes they have slams. Their season just ended because of the finals, but it goes back and forth between Suffern and Nyack.
Oh my god, we have to go.
Yeah, if you want to go.
I definitely do. Let me know when it is again.
Okay.
Even if Martini doesn't want to go, I'm going.
Yeah, it might. I think they might.
The old books.
They might take a break for the summer, but I will let you know.
Cool.
Wouldn't that be the perfect time to do it?
Right.
I guess, or maybe they start the season right away again. I haven't been in years because I've been avoiding this guy.
Right. No, look it up. Look up.
I used to live around the corner from where they did the slams, so that's kind of why I ended up going in the first place.
Right.
But then in the theater?
No, it's at Casa del Sol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Nyack?
Mm-hmm.
I like Nyack. Right. So that's a lot of new developments. We covered a lot in the past 2 hours. Kanye.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kanye! Why?
No, but I hope it goes well. As of right now, to me, it's a very good foundation.
I think so too. I think you should just do it.
It's a very good foundation. You guys have a lot in common, and it's not like it wasn't working before. It's just that the timing.
Right.
That's what
the
it was.
timing was definitely
It's not
bad.
like you guys weren't feeling each other. It was just literally the timing.
Okay. Guys, you don't know how nervous I am.
But that's a good.
nervous.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because it's real.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, you weren't nervous about.
You don't want to miss
Bronx guy.
You don't
That's
want to
true.
miss your opportunity though either because
that would suck.
I'm like, is 2 weeks too long? Have I waited too long?
No.
I mean especially since
Well, I guess not in OkCupid world.
by Friday.
No,
like
not
I
even.
said.
First, I think you should. Okay. Oh, you got me. Damn it, you guys got me. For someone who wants to fall in love again,
Yes.
I think you should do it. That was my emotional thing. So trifecta.
Stop. This is so cute.
Okay. The foundation is there. I like what I'm seeing, and since nobody can see it besides Jen and I, you haven't stopped blushing.
That is really embarrassing.
So this feels real.
You know my face
This
is
is good.
naturally pink though, like I always.
Don't stop it. Stop it.
No. This is like extra pink.
That's so gross.
So this
I
is
feel
good.
things. Why?
But
So
really.
this is good. So for someone who would die
And that day, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes.
in here.
I relate to the Grinch on a very deep level. Let's be honest.
So no, for someone who wants to be in that position,
Right.
I think you have, I think you should just go for the stars.
Well, let me just say that I am sorry it is happening to me and not you.
Whatever.
It'll happen to Martini. You know why it's happening to Brigid? Because she said she's in a good place.
Mm.
Step 1, Martini. Get that poetry popping.
Call out.
Shots fired.
Oh, God. Anyway, this is about Brigid. Okay.
Deflecting.
Yeah. This is very good. The foundation is there. I think you should do it.
Okay.
I hope you do it.
Oh, okay. I hope your listeners agree. Make that a Twitter poll.
Should Brigid?
Should Brigid message? Okay, keep
We don't
going.
have that much time, Bridget. This isn't going to drop until Saturday.
I'm not getting any younger. Oh, it's not dropping till Saturday. Damn. All right, you're right. I don't have time.
You only have till Friday.
Just do it.
That's fine. I'll send you guys an update when I have one.
Yes,
I guess.
please.
Cool. All right. So that's the end of the show.
Are you passive aggressive? Do you think Bridget should holler at OK Cupid?
Hit us up on Gmail, bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. Go to our website, www.bedlovebeyond.com, or you can give us a call or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. Hit us up on Facebook.com /bedlovebeyond, or you can follow us at bedlovebeyond on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Thank you for listening to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Casts, Stitcher, and
Google Play Music.
Please rate, review, like, and subscribe to us on any of the devices that you listen to. Thank you so much, Brigid, for coming on again.
Time.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad it wasn't another 2 years.
I know, it was like 2 weeks. It was awesome.
Yeah, right? See, I told you we love you when you're on here.
Thanks, guys.
All right, I'm Martini.
Still Jen.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.